Up today in the 5-minute book review, we take a look at Lamb, the Gospel According to Biff, Christ's Childhood Pal. Yeah, Mr. Moore unearths this little story about Biff, a childhood pal of the Savior himself, who is brought back from the dead to fill in the missing 30-year gap of Jesus' life on earth, and to write, of course, the Gospel According to Biff. Coin toss to start, and thankfully, Ian is the winner.
5-minute book report with Ian and Curtis. Our book today is Lamb by Christopher Moore. If you don't know Christopher Moore, he is one of the top authors coming out of the States today. He's a fiction writer. He is a literary fiction writer, definitely a comedy literary fiction writer. He's one of my personal favorite modern writers today. Lamb is the story of Biff, Jesus' best friend, and it's his lost gospel that's being discussed, what he did, how he interacted with Jesus, the development of Jesus. It discusses a lot of the time between the point which he decided he was going to be Jesus and how he became Jesus. It's very interesting. It's very funny. It's almost insightful in a way. It is one of the one of the funniest reads I've had in a long time, and funniest in a way that you feel good after reading it, which Jesus and maybe not so much can be a fun thing, but at the same time, I found this to be one of the most enjoyable reads I've had in probably the last 4 or 5 years.
All right, Ian, this is the Ian Goodwillie recommendation, Lamb. So I sit down with Lamb and I read Lamb from top to bottom, and after I'm done reading Lamb, I pray, Ian. And then I have a shower, and then I pray some more, and then I pray for you, and I pray for the bookstore, and I pray for anybody else that has come in contact with this book. Man, should you write a book like this, Ian? I don't know. Honestly, I'm pretty hard to offend. I laughed. I laughed a few times, and I felt bad for laughing, and this would probably be described as blasphemy by a lot of the masses. And again, it didn't bother me so much. I had a pretty good time with it. I saw where he was going with it, but I'm just questioning the audience. I know it's a New York Times bestseller, but to really enjoy this book, you really have to know the story of the Bible and yet be willing to laugh at it, which that's a pretty tough audience to fill. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's kind of the feeling I got. There were definitely a few laugh out loud moments, but again, it was kind of laugh out loud looking over my shoulder. Oh, is anybody watching me read this? Ian!
Oh, I have to disagree with that. I don't think it's blasphemous on every level. It's clear from moment one that this isn't at all seriousness. It's interesting, it's thought-provoking, it's funny as hell, but it is not serious. It's not offensive. It's not saying anything bad about Jesus on any level. It's just one man's supposition. It's what he's thinking about Jesus, about what could have been. And I'll tell you, what it just comes down to, it's just funny.
There were a few times, like I said, where I laughed out loud. Like, I love the part where the angel appears and he's like, "Behold, today in the city of David, the Savior is born," and everyone's looking at each other because he's like 9 years late. You know, the whole Christmas story, Book of Luke thing, you know, that Linus does in the Peanuts, Charlie Brown specialty here, and everybody's looking at this angel, and he's like, "What year is it?" And they give him the year, and he's like, "Oh man, well, I stopped by, you know, Mark's house, and oh geez, I guess I lost track of time." That part made me laugh. Ian, let's talk about this.
Book. I think it's well written. I think it's really intelligent. I think as far as you're worrying about the audience, believe me, there's a very large audience for this book. It has been a massive bestseller across North America, around the world. He's written a lot of books, probably 10 or 12, I think, at this point. And
he takes a lot of shots at organized religion, though, doesn't he? That's kind of his thing.
I don't think it's cheap shots in that way. Like, it's not like it's insulting. It's not insulting shots.
Does he get negative press for doing stuff like this, Ian?
Not that I know of.
No? Okay.
I mean, I'm sure he has on somewhere along the way. I'm sure there's some people who haven't liked it, but
I was just like,
always
this
people
is
who
kind
don't
of the
like it.
equivalent of getting in front of a Saskatchewan audience and going, "All right, who's a Riders fan?" You know, like, you're going to guaranteed get some sort of reaction by saying that. So this wasn't a case of, "Hey, I'm going to get some negative press." It's
Definitely not.
Get a buzz and get some positive press. No?
All the buzz I've ever read for this book, positive.
Really?
Yep.
Okay. Again, I'm going to say a very weary thumbs up. You got to be able to laugh at this stuff, Ian.
Good. Read it now.